Welcome back. Today I am going to give you my secrets to being consistent with my workouts. I'm Emma, a kettlebell coach and personal trainer, and because I'm a personal trainer, people just assume I have an easy time working out. But the reality is I have struggled with it over my 10-year fitness career just as much as everybody else. But at this point, I do have some really helpful tips and tricks and ways that I have been able to implement exercise into my routine regularly that have worked for me and all of my clients. Before we get going, please take a second and like this video and subscribe to my channel because you don't want to miss future workouts that you can actually do once you're in that routine. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now, the crux of all of the points I'm going to cover today is that you want to reduce friction within your routine. And what I mean by that is you really want the path of least resistance when it comes to exercising or adding in any new habit into your life. Because if you had tons of time, if you knew everything you already needed to know, if it was going to be easy, you'd already be doing it. So we really want to make this process as easy as possible on yourself so that way you have no choice but to say yes when it's time to do the thing you said you would do. I would say the first and most important point is that you need to make a schedule that actually works for your life and not just pick some arbitrary time that you think should work. For example, a lot of people hear, I always work out after work. So you just pick that time, but you don't actually have the time after work. You have a job where you cannot control your time after work. You don't like to do things after work. That would not be a good time for you. For example, a few years ago, I got in this place where 9 a.m. was the right time for me to work out. And that's because I had morning sessions, and then by 9 a.m. I had a little break where I wasn't really doing anything and I had the bandwidth to work out. Plus, I was awake. It really worked well for me. But my schedule changes all the time. And now 2 years later, I found myself constantly skipping my workouts. And that's because I don't have early morning sessions anymore. So 9 a.m. should be the start of my workday. So what was happening was I was either missing my workouts because I was already in the groove working and I couldn't pull myself away, or I would do that workout at 9 a.m. I'd have a nice leisurely morning, workout at 9, and then my day wouldn't start until like 11. And that was not practical for me. I would be behind. I would feel really bad that I missed the majority of my morning. So I wouldn't work out the next day because I felt like I had to make up for missing the day before. So that 9 a.m. time no longer was working for me. But for some reason, because it used to, in my mind, I had to work out at 9. Now I work out much earlier. I work out as soon as I wake up. And do I like working out that early? Does it feel the best on my body? Honestly, no. But it's the time I know I can do it. So it's what I've adapted to. So how can you figure out a schedule that truly works for you? My first tip is think about when you are most motivated to do something extra. Are you the kind of person that doesn't mind stopping at the coffee shop before work because it's okay for you to get to work a few minutes early? Or are you the kind of person that's always going to say yes to after work plans, comes home and is super motivated to cook? Or do you get home from work and you're so fried from your workday that you never cook? Now think about this. Because if you have an easy time doing something extra after work, then that extra thing is going to now be your workout. Not every day, but some days. Or if you're a total morning person, you have no problem doing your laundry before you leave for the office. Now you're going to work out in the morning. You really need to think about when you are likely to succeed. Stack the deck in your favor. Reduce that friction. Another thing is looking at when you practically can get it done. Now, I said I like working out at 9 a.m. because I'm awake and I feel like it's when my body really felt good with it. But the reality was 9 a.m. does not work for me right now. So even though it doesn't feel as great to work out at 7, that is when I practically can fit it in. Now, if you're the parent of a young child, that's probably going to look like working out before your child gets up or after your child goes to bed. I have one client and I see her checking into her workouts at 9 p.m. Would she be preferring to work out before work? Yes, but she knows her daughter is going to need her during that time. Another thing I see a lot of parents do, especially if you both work out, is an I go, you go schedule. One day's for you, the next day's for them. And you have to tag team on who's going to do the morning routine. It's really difficult to be the solo parent and do it on your only day. And I am not a parent, so I don't really like to counsel parents too much on how to fit this exercise into their routine, but this is what I see my clients who are parents doing. You really want to find a time that not only are you motivated to work out during, that you know is going to feel good, but that you practically can make happen. So when you first start exercising, showing up is the most important and hardest step. But once you feel like you got that under control, you need a plan. Just showing up and winging it and just staring at the equipment saying, what should I do today? Or opening up your phone upon arrival at the gym and YouTubing kettlebell workouts, or going to my Instagram and scrolling until you find that workout you saw me post 3 days ago. That's not a plan, and it's probably going to lead to you feeling overwhelmed and discouraged because that workout you selected might have skills you don't know yet. It might leave you so sore that you won't be able to work out for 3 more days. Or it might just not be good for you where you're at now, because that random workout I made showing you how to use kettlebells for arms, that's something I made at a random point in time with a random goal in mind. And you are not random. You're a person with goals, and you want your workout to serve your goals. So you can make a plan a few ways. I have actually made a whole video on how you can make your own workout plan, so check that out. I'm not sure which corner it's in, but check it out. For my super busy folks who have the money to make the investment in a personal trainer, I tend to find that leads to the most success, because it also means you're going to show up. Because with personal training, if you don't show up, you lose your large investment in that session. And then another thing you can do is download a program. Even if that program is a free one from YouTube or my free download, it's going to give you a roadmap of what to do each day to move towards your goals. I have group programs, so if you are watching this in real time before mid-April, I have a beginner kettlebell program launching that happens every quarter that teaches you everything you need to know about how to use kettlebells and then train on your own in like 30 minutes or less for the rest of your life. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, again, I don't know what corner we're in, but book a call with me, let's chat. But that was not the point of this. I just would be remiss if I don't tell you I can help you make that plan. Personally, I usually follow my more advanced groups program. I have a group of kettlebell ladies who already know what they're doing, and I follow along with them because that accountability is incredibly motivating for me. Seeing them show up makes me want to show up, and having the plan written out when I get to the gym, that's just reducing friction. I don't have to wonder what I'm going to do. I know exactly how long my workout's going to take. I know what equipment I'm going to need. I know if I'm doing leg day, I'll go to the gym. If I'm doing upper body day, I'll stay home. I know what is going to happen. So last year, for about 3 months, I had some medical stuff going on and I couldn't follow that program. I was still working out 2 to 3 days a week, but they were like the lamest workouts. I saw myself losing muscle, losing endurance. I was showing up, but I didn't even feel good about the workouts because I didn't feel like I accomplished anything. And the second I got back on that program, I was working out 4 days a week without fail, sometimes adding in a 5th day. I was going for more walks. It just motivated me to be so much more accountable. I even started meal prepping because I felt like I'm doing so well at the workouts, I want to do better with my food. We need to know when we're going to exercise. We need to have a plan for when we're doing that workout. And then you need to be ready to go when it's time to work out. So let's talk about being ready and prepared. Again, we want to reduce friction. So you need to make sure that your workout space, the gym you're going to, the class you signed up for is accessible to you. Now, personally, I work out at home and I live in an 800 square foot apartment. This place is not palatial. I do not have a beautiful, dedicated home gym that I can just walk into and it's set up and ready to go and inviting me. I wish I did someday. That is not today. Instead, I work out, train my clients, do everything from my living room, right over there. And let's go over and I'm going to explain to you how this works. This is where I store my kettlebells, and until recently, they sat on the floor. This means that I have no excuse not to use them. They are not hard to get to. All I have to do is lift up the lid and pull one out. I lay my yoga mat right here, and there is no reason why at 7 a.m. I can't just boop, 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 and exercise. I don't have any friction with trying to get to this equipment. But that's not the case with everything I use. I keep my workout bench, pull-up bar, and dumbbells in my guest room. But that's also my husband's office, and he works from home a lot. Oftentimes when I'm working out, he's on a call and I can't get to that stuff. Also, it's underneath the bed, which is a pain to get out. It's all collapsible, so then I have to set it up. Now, if your workout relies on equipment that is collapsed, hidden away underneath the bed, in a room you can't always have access to, you are likely to miss a lot of workouts because you don't want to set it up, you don't want to bother the person who you're going to interrupt, and it's just there's too much friction there. Now, fortunately, almost all of my workouts only use kettlebells. So for me, there's no friction. But I do have to really plan ahead if I want to use the bench, if I want to use the pull-up bar. I never use the dumbbells, they're his. But my point is, I need to plan ahead if I want to use that stuff. So make your workout equipment as accessible as possible. Even if it doesn't look good to leave those 3 kettlebells in your living room, if you know that's the path of least resistance for you, do it, at least until you build up the muscle of consistency and you know you're a little more inclined to get out the stuff. I mean, even having this stuff in this bin, I worried, is this going to slow me down from my workouts? Am I going to work out less because I have to get the weights out of the bench? Am I less likely to pick up the heavy weights because they're in the bench? And I'm proud to say that that is a no for me, but I wasn't sure if it would be a no, and it's reasonable. Some other things you can think about with being prepared for your workout. If you're going to go to the gym or sign up for a class, make sure that they're not out of the way and that you're ready to go the night before, especially for a morning class. Now, make sure that your water bottle is cleaned because at 5 a.m. you're not going to want to wash out your water bottle. Make sure your headphones are charged. If you signed up for a Zoom class, make sure your iPad or laptop is charged. Get your sneakers by the door. Just make it easy for you to get up and go and do the thing you said you were going to do. And that brings me to my last point. If you're the kind of person who is a go, 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 doesn't stop, you need to avoid getting burnt out. What happens to a lot of people is they start a new routine and they are like all or nothing. It's January 1st. You work out all 30 days of January. You sign up for a challenge. You follow that diet for all the days of Whole30. You do 75 hard. Much respect if you have. Do not think it's a sustainable plan. And at the end of those 75 days, at the end of January, at the end of Whole30, you never do that healthy habit again. Or you are so burnt out from it that you do not return to it for 3 to 6 months. That is not consistent. Maybe you did something for 30, 45, 75 days. But if you can't sustain that routine for years to come, it's not sustainable and you will get burnt out. So what does consistency look like? It looks like showing up for yourself 2 to 4 days a week for 46 weeks of the year. If we zoom out, we want to say, for the majority of the year, was I able to show up for myself? Now, 46 weeks, that means every other month, a full week off. And that could be because you went on vacation, because you got sick, because your kid got sick, because you had a deadline at work, because you just lost all motivation and you became one with your couch. It doesn't matter why we slow down. The point is you should be able to slow down because it's impossible to be perfect with something every single week for the entire year. But we want to be doing it at a sustainable rate where you feel like after a week off, you haven't lost all your progress and that you can go back to it because it's not that hard to add it back into your life. So if you're still with me, thank you so much. And just to tie that all up and summarize what we talked about, if you want to be consistent with your workout routine, you need to find a schedule that is realistic for you. You need to come up with a plan that is going to help hold you accountable and give you direction towards your goals while you're at the gym. You want to set up a workout space that's going to make it easy for you to work out. You don't want to be overwhelmed by the setup or feel like the gym is so far away that you can't get there. And you need to come up with a plan that's sustainable and keep you from burning out. So if you can accomplish all those things, if you can even start to implement just one of those things right now, it's going to increase your success with showing up for the gym. So please, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next week.